thanks for watching, and today I want to continue our dual space extravaganza. So in a previous exciting episode, I defined the notion of a dual space and also found a very nice basis for a dual space called the dual basis. Now, that video was a little bit abstract, so today I want to sort of garnish it with a beautiful example of how to explicitly find a dual basis. So let me just recall some definitions. So first of all, the dual space of a vector space V is just the set of linear transformations F from V to F. So it's a linear transformation where the output is in your field. So a real number or a complex number for us. And those F's, those are called linear functionals. And then we showed a nice fact, namely, if V1 up to Vn is a basis for V of V, and let's call this beta, then beta star, which is F1 up to Fn, is a basis of V star, where, how do you define the Fi? Namely in terms of basis vectors, so Fi of Vj, it's 1 if j equals I, and 0 if j is not equal I. So in terms of graphs, if this is V1, V2, up to, let's say, Vi, and then Vn, then Fi, it's 0 everywhere, except at Vi, it's 1. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. So this is Fi. And we have shown in a previous video that those vectors form a building block for V star. And in fact, it is this beautiful formula that for any F, we can easily decompose it in terms of the Fi's. Namely, because it's a basis, we know it's something times F1 plus something times Fn. And to get the coefficients, you just evaluate F at the basis vectors. And this is really, really cool. And I think at some point I'll give an application of this in applied math, because it turns out you can rederive the Lagrange interpolation formula from that. All right, that's all you need to know from that video. And now I'll just give you a concrete example of what the Fi's look concretely. So consider the following vector space V, Vr2, and the basis beta, let's say 2, 1, and 3, 1. And the question is, find the dual basis, B star, which are functions here. So functions of two variables with output in R. And so, how do we find this? Just using the definition of Fi. So the basis vector here are V1 and V2. So let's start with F1. So by definition, again, if you want this beautiful graph I'm so proud of, if this is V1 and this is V2, then F1, that's 1 at V1 and 0 at V2. So F1 at 2, 1 equals 1, and F1 at 3, 1 equals 0. Right, so that is F1. And our goal is to find a formula for F1. So find F1 of xy. But turns out it's very easy to find that formula, because remember, the Fi's are linear transformations. So in particular, xy, that's x times 1, 0, plus y times 0, 1. And because F1 is linear, that x times F1 of 1, 0, plus y times F1 of 0, 1. So it turns out, if we find F1 at 1, 0 and F1 at 0, 1, we are done. Because then we just need to, because then we can just use this formula and we get a formula for f1 of xy. But look, we know those two ingredients. So let's use those two ingredients to our advantage, because we know f1 at 2, 1 equals 1. But by using the same trick, f1 at 2, 1, it's 2 times f1 at 1, 0, plus 1 times f1 at 0, 1. And we know that is 1. So we get one equation for the stuff we want to find. To get the other equation, we get f1 at 3, 1 equals 0. So, in other words, 3 f1 at 1, 0 plus 1 times f1 at 0, 1 equals 0. And lo and behold, we get a nice system of equations for the stuff we want to find. In other words, 2, 1, 3, 1, f1 at 1, 0, f2, f1 at 0, 1 equals to what we want, 1, 0. And then solving the system, we then just get f1 at 1, 0, f1 at 0, 1. So f1 at 1, 0 equals minus 1, and f1 at 0, 1 equals 3. So if you want, multiply by the inverse of this matrix, and that works. In particular, this is all we need, because then f1 at xy, remember, it's x times f1 at 1, 0, plus y times f1 at 0, 1. And that becomes x times minus 1 plus y times 3. And that is minus x plus 3y. So this is f1. So f1 of xy is this function from r2 to r. So xy, it's minus x plus 3y. And how do you find f2? It's the same thing, except we use the fact that at v1, f2 is 0, and at v2, f2 is 1. So this is f2. Where if you want in contrast, what did f1 look like? Was the opposite. It was 1 here and 0 here. So what do we get? Similarly, using f2 at 2, 1, this time it's 0, and f2 at 3, 1, it's 1. We then, if you solve this in the similar way, we get f2 at 1, 0 equals 1, f2 at 0, 1 equals minus 2. And therefore, f2 of xy, it's 1 times x, so x, plus minus 2 times y, so minus 2y. And that is our answer. Our dual basis here, it's f1 and f2. Which is, if you want, the function minus x plus 3y and x minus 2y. And by the way, it's very easy to check if your answer is correct. Just check that if you have, at the point 2, 1, this should be 1. At the point 3, 1, this should be 0. At this point, 2, 1, this should be 0. And at this point, 3, 1, this should be 1. And in fact, you can check this. That's one thing. So it's a basis, indeed, of the dual space. And one more thing I wanted to talk about is, remember, we have this very nice representation formula, which is very rare in linear algebra to get an explicit representation formula, because it turns out, well, I actually wrote it. I wrote that any linear functional in V star can be written very easily in terms of f1 up to fn. So, in particular, consider the following arbitrary linear functional. And let's see if we can write this in terms of our FIs. So, example, let, again, f of xy be, let's say, 2x minus 5y. Then what does our formula say? It says that f can be written in terms of f1 and f2 just by evaluating f at basis vectors. So f of 2, 1 plus f of 3, 1. This, but then f of 2, 1, that's 4 minus 5, which is minus 1, times f1. And f of 3, 1, that's 6 minus 5, which is 1, times f2. And indeed, I think you can check that it's correct. So it's minus 1 times minus x plus 3y plus 1 times x minus 2y. And that should equal to 5x, 2x minus 5y. And this is amazing. It's kind of the analog or orthogonality, where if stuff is orthogonal, it's easy to write your vector in terms of your basis vectors. Yeah, but this is slightly more general, and it's really cool. In particular, think like numerical analysis, like your Lagrange polynomials or something. It says at least those polynomials in the dual basis, it's easy to express this. So it's very neat, and that's why I don't think dual spaces are just some abstract gibberish. Actually, it makes sense. All right, I hope you like this example. If you want to see more math, please click like and make sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.